fine afternoon to you. Welcome to Nationwide on NTA. My name is Phil Obano. Reports from the Gambia say that the country's president of 22 years, Yahya Jammeh, will be replaced by property developer Adama Barrow after losing the general election. Electoral Commissioner Chief Aliu Moma Inje said Jammeh, who came to power in a coup in 1994, has agreed to accept defeat. Before announcing the final result, Inje appealed for calm as the country entered uncharted waters. The Gambia has not had a smooth power transfer since independence in 1965. Jammeh's defeat has been greeted with astonishment in the Gambia, where most people expected him to win. He has served 4 terms as president, but now he is to be replaced by a property developer. Yahya Jammeh's 22 years in power has brought repression and intolerance to the tiny seaside nation, popular for cheap holidays in the sun. He has been reported to be tough on journalists, the opposition, and gay people. He has also said he could cure AIDS and infertility. High-level talks on issues of common interest for Nigeria and the Kingdom of Morocco are now ongoing in the State House between President Muhammadu Buhari and King Mohammed VI. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that King Mohammed, who is on his first official visit to Nigeria, arrived at the presidential villa at about 1:30 in the afternoon to a befitting diplomatic reception. Apart from a 21 military gun salute in his honor, the Moroccan king also inspected a ceremonial guard mounted by a detachment of the Presidential Guards Brigade. Buhari and King Mohammed later proceeded to the National Mosque to join other Muslims in the Congregational Friday prayer. The bilateral deliberations between Nigeria and Morocco will culminate in the signing of some agreements towards enhancing relations. President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated the essence of national unity and urged those contemplating breakup to change their position. He stated this in an audience granted to the Council of Southeast Traditional Rulers. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari was emphatic that the question of dismembering the country is not only difficult but misplaced. He therefore asked the separatists to drop the idea and concentrate on harnessing the nation's endowments for a greater future. The president appealed to the monarchs from the southeast to persuade their people to give his government a chance to rebuild Nigeria for genuine prosperity. On the request for more representation for the southeast in government, President Buhari said his administration is very conscious of such sensitivities, hence the allocation of senior ranking ministers in the federal cabinet to 4 out of the 5 states of the region. Those appointees, he said, are doing well for Nigeria, and he is very appreciative. He promised that the region will also benefit from the new railway architecture being put in place by government. The president assured the delegation that having calmed down the northeast kidnapping and cattle rustling, which he described as unfortunate, will be his administration's next target. On the fight against corruption, President Buhari expressed frustration at the endless nature of some ongoing trials, citing some of the cases as going far back to the tenure of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. As he puts it, we are asking the judiciary to clean itself as Nigerians are tired of waiting. They want some action. The president expressed the hope that the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Justice Minister will come to some form of agreement by which specially designated courts will give accelerated hearing to some pending corruption cases. The chairman of the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers, Eze Eberechi Dick, assured President Buhari of their support for his leadership and programs, but made various requests which the president promised to look into. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
With the ongoing massive reconstruction and rehabilitation of structures and displaced persons in the Northeast, appreciating the gallantry of the Nigerian soldier is key to further boosting the morale of the troops. This was the position of Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, as presented by the Chief of Civil Military Affairs at a news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Investigation reveals that soldiers in most developed countries enjoy a series of goodwill from their citizens in appreciation of their selfless service to the nation. It is in view of this that the Nigerian Armed Forces introduced a scheme that seeks to reorient Nigerians to say thank you to soldiers in recognition of their efforts in safeguarding Nigeria and Nigerians.
While the Nigerian Army conceived this initiative is to show the soldiers of the Nigerian Army that the Nigerian people are standing with them and they are supporting and appreciating their efforts and sacrifice for the nation.
Partners of the scheme say the first phase of the program involves the production and distribution of free branded bottled water to soldiers with an inscription, "Thank you."
This call goes to the private sector, who we think are going to be our #1 partners. They need to actually come and help. We have mentioned time without number since we started this initiative. That in civilized climes, you see that the soldier enjoys discounts in shops, in malls. The civilians are waiting for the opportunity to always give back to the soldiers.
Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Government has ordered a full investigation into the recent killings of 4 miners, including a Chinese national, who were ambushed by unknown gunmen at a mining site in Nasarawa. Egon, local council of the state, Joshua Ojito, reports that henceforth security agencies will be deployed to major mining sites in the state to protect lives and properties of miners.
The 4 miners, 3 whom were Nigerians, including a policeman and 1 Chinese national, were shot dead by unknown gunmen while on their way from a mining site in Alogani in Nasarawa Egon local government area of Nasarawa State. Governor Umaru Tankal Mukura, accompanied by all heads of security agencies in the state, visited the area to sympathize with the Chinese expatriates, assuring them of adequate security of their lives and property. He condemned the ugly incident, especially now that government is looking inward to diversify the economy through the solid mineral sector, and wondered why some miscreant will scare investors from exploring the abundant solid mineral deposits in the state. Governor Al-Mukura said the state government will work closely with security agencies and other relevant stakeholders to safeguard all mining sites in the state. Meanwhile, a stakeholders meeting with all traditional rulers and leaders of ethnic groups from the western senatorial districts, including all heads of security agencies, was held over the recent cases of killings and kidnappings, especially in Nasarawa and Toto. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Senate Committee on Power has frowned over the inability of a presidential nominee for the position of chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to appear before it. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zeyanu reports that it is not the first time the nominee is failing to appear for screening.
For the second time in 1 month, President Buhari's nominee for the position of the chairman of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, Professor Akintunde Akiwande, did not present himself for Senate screening. At the second screening session convened by the Einaya Abaribe-led Senate Committee on Power, the United States-based professor of engineering's absence did not go down well with the committee members. Meanwhile, Nigerians in diaspora have called for an institutional framework that will help citizens residents outside the country to contribute towards nation building back home. They stated this when the Senate Committee on Diaspora visited them on oversight functions in parts of the world.
I believe that most Nigerians here really want to go back home, relocating or trying to support this care.
How and who can we get easy access to interact directly with this committee?
Until we address the issue of the dichotomy that has to do with the issue of security within the healthcare industry in Nigeria, Nigeria healthcare will not move forward.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora, Rose Oko, said the Diaspora Commission bill is meant to take care of all contentious issues.
That Diaspora Commission bill, which was passed in the last assembly but not assented to, is currently in the Senate for concurrence. And it's gone through the first reading already. It's going through the various processes for passage also by the Senate.
From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
And still from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives says the impact of federally owned development finance institutions is yet to be felt by Nigerians. The Deputy Speaker stated this at the inauguration of the House Ad Hoc Committee to investigate the activities of these institutions. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
The Deputy Speaker observed that Nigeria has spent huge sum of money on federally owned development finance institutions with little or nothing to show for it.
Development finance institutions are established to serve as catalysts for development of small and medium enterprises and agro-based businesses. These institutions, if adequately harnessed, are enough to propel this country into technological and economic development.
The chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee that will investigate the activities of these financial institutions, Representative Chukwemeka Anoho, explained that the mandate of the committee is to find out why these institutions have failed to live up to expectations.
There shall be no sacred cows in our quest to reposition development finance institutions in Nigeria. We shall be fair.
With this inauguration, it is expected that the committee will soon commence public hearing on the matter. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says implementation of speed limiting device, public enlightenment, advanced patrol operations, as well as improved emergency response and facilities are key components that contributed to achieving 50% reduction in road traffic crashes and 25% fatality rate. Olajide Bello reports that this was at the FROSC End-of-Year Management Strategies Session 2016 in Abuja.
The Federal Road Safety Corps Management and Strategy Session was an avenue to evaluate the Corps' stewardship to the nation and profile ways to minimize road traffic crashes in the country. Representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Olukule Bangboshe, reiterated the federal government's commitment to continue to provide adequate facilities and logistics to enable the Corps carry out its mandate.
This review cannot be complete without you finding solutions to the challenges in the coming year, as well as consolidating and improving on gains already made.
We in the National Assembly and under my watchdog, I am assuring the Commission that we are doing all we could in terms of legislative input.
Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi described the year as challenging, but with the Corps' resilience and the use of cutting-edge technologies, it has been able to achieve its goals optimally.
As of September this year, we have achieved 77.19% of the expectation in RTC reduction, while 83.33% was achieved in respect of fatality rate. We will not only keep the momentum, but further accelerate achievement of goals.
He called for attitudinal change among road users and strict adherence to traffic rules and regulations, adding that the Corps is embarking on intensive patrol during the Christmas season. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
As the festive season draws near, the Federal Road Safety Corps has called on Nigerians to be patient while driving on Nigerian roads, as well as to avoid overspeeding. Deputy Corps Marshal Operations FROSC Ojeme Irujakbo reiterated this on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria while discussing the topic Staying Alive this season alongside other guests on the program. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, and the Directorate of Road Traffic Service, represented on the program, reiterated the organization's preparedness to ensure safety on Nigerian roads. Talking about causes of accidents on the highway, the guests highlighted some major factors.
Most of them are speed related because you have a lot of lone crashes, you have fatigue, because we do investigate crashes with a threshold of over 6 deaths. And most of it is fatigue. You have loss of control, somebody's tired, he falls asleep, or there's a tire burst.
You see, the problem of accidents on our highways is caused by our roads. The roads are bad.
Pointing out overloading as a major problem, the Directorate of Road Traffic Service, charged commuters to know that it is their right to refuse overloading, especially situations of loading animals alongside human beings.
They are equally encouraging it by joining the drivers to overload. The commuters should equally know that it is their right to refuse overloading.
The guest reminded road users to always think of safety first while on the road, explaining that the FRSC will not hesitate to prosecute road offenders if they disobey the rules. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
There is more on road safety, this time with Ademola, who is standing by in our Lagos Network Center with details on FRSC awareness campaign and other reports. Ademola, take it from here.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. The Federal Road Safety Corps has intensified its Ember Month campaign with the introduction of digital evidential alcohol testing machines to discourage commercial bus drivers from drunk driving on the highways. Musa Tolia reports that the flag-off of the Ember Month safety campaign was done at the K2 Motor Park along Ikorodu Road in Lagos.
The Lagos Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Hyginus Omeje said the Ember Month campaign and various activities of the FRSC have helped reduce road crashes on Lagos highways. According to Mr. Omeje, road traffic crashes recorded between January and September 2016 stood at 2,401 as against 3,366 recorded in 2015. He said this drastic reduction in crashes necessitated the need to place emphasis on discouraging drunk driving and overloading among commercial vehicle operators across the metropolis.
The new approach adopted is to carry out extensive tests on drivers along various motorparks and major corridors within the state through random breathalyzing of motorists and sobriety checkpoint centers.
Lagos State Commissioner for Transport, who was represented, urged participants to comply with traffic rules and regulations and to see road crashes reduction as a shared responsibility.
Drinking alcohol while driving can affect your judgment.
We are learning a lot today. When you are going out in the morning, make sure everything is perfect.
The event later dovetailed into a rally where officials of the FRSC, National Union of Road Transport Workers, and stakeholders distributed flyers and handbills to sensitize motorists on safe driving habits on the highways. In Lagos, Musa Tolia, NTA News.
The national president of the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOWA, Hajia Hafsat Sadiq Abubakar, has reiterated the association's commitment to reach out to the less privileged in the society through programs that add meaningful value to existence. She stated this during the inauguration of a skill acquisition and vocational training program at the Nigerian Air Force Officers Mess, Ikeja, Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
The Skills Acquisition and Vocational Training Program is targeted at women, widows, and youth in the barracks and the surrounding communities. Hajia Sadiq said the program will focus on vocational trades and skills that can easily be converted into small businesses and create a steady means of income for the beneficiaries.
The program is being done as part of our contribution as complementing the federal government's effort at curbing unemployment amongst youth, and is also aimed at building capacity amongst our women by empowering them with necessary skills to make them self-reliant and able to better cater for themselves in a changing economy.
Our great country is currently in an economic recession, and we women have a duty to support our families.
I'm very much sure that it is a step in the right direction to give our youth in the barracks work to do. It will reduce dormancy.
Some of the beneficiaries applauded the program and described it as apt in view of the unemployment challenges confronting the country.
I'm actually grateful to the authorities who have actually brought this scheme. It's going to benefit all of us, and by God's grace, we'll put it into use.
The program is designed to cater for about 150 participants. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
As the UTAL takes its course, the Lagos State Police Command has assured residents of its readiness to check impending wave of criminality associated with festive periods. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosheni, gave the assurance while parading suspects who were arrested for various levels of criminality in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the report.
State Commissioner of Police Fatai Owosheni said the State Police Command has stepped up its surveillance and patrol efforts to combat robberies and other forms of criminal activities across the metropolis. This, he said, resulted in the arrest of the robbery gangs paraded at the police command. Some of the suspects were nabbed for robbing in traffic, while a gang of robbers who broke into a warehouse in Alaba Market over the weekend were also paraded.
We carry 102 cartons.
Now one of my friends, I'm sure is the Welsh.
He told me that he have someone that gave him the carton. Before you buy this kind of goods, you have to be sure of where they brought it and how the goods come from.
For this military season, starting from street parties that have been planned by the state government, are properly policed and properly secured with the support of sister security agencies. We continue to improve on our dominance of the security space to make sure that we are able to provide security and safety for everyone.
The Commissioner of Police, however, advised Lagos residents to be vigilant and report suspicious activities to the nearest police divisional station in their locality. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Phil, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ademola. The Presidential Amnesty Program has deployed a first batch of 500 delegates to the National Bioresources Center in Odi, Bayelsa State, to train in advanced farming methods. Nnamdi Odipo reports that the beneficiaries will be trained in the application of verified scientific technologies to increase yields in crop and animal farming.
It is not just enough to sow a seed or stem and wait for harvest. In today's agriculture, seeds are enhanced, plant tissues are crushed, and the variety of yields are improved. That is science in agriculture, and it is the path that Nigeria now seeks to tread. An agency like the Presidential Amnesty Office has stood the line, taking the initiative to train some of its delegates in this form of advanced agriculture. The Amnesty Office has partnered with the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, to train 590 Delton youth in its Bioresources Center in Bayelsa State.
Our programs in agriculture can be thought of as an alternative vision for growth and development, one that generates growth and improvement in people's lives in ways consistent with sustainable development.
The imperatives are clear. Investment in agriculture is key for the country's national and economic growth.
We are going into a technical field that requires technicalities. It requires you to put on your thinking cap.
These new generations of farmers are the key players in job creation, and they are key players in healthy economy of Nigeria.
Many believe Nigeria's biodiversity, coupled with scientific research to boost agriculture, may just be the trump card out of economic recession. Nnamdi Odipo, NTA News.
West African ministers of environment are meeting in Abuja to implement the outcomes of the Paris and Marrakesh conferences on the environment. Mie Ugidi, who attended the opening session of the meeting, reports that the ministers set the year 2020 to end vehicle gas emission in the sub-region through the promotion of low-sulfur fuels.
World Health Organization in a report identified air pollution as a major global health risk. To this end, how to invest in producing quality air was one of the outcomes of the Paris Conference on Climate Change in 2015 and the just concluded COP22 in Marrakesh, Morocco. Regrettably, over 60% of the gas that pollutes the air is as a result of high concentration of sulfur in the fuel used in automobiles. This gathering by ministers of environment in the West African sub-region, as well as those in the petrochemical industry, is advocating for the use of modern technology to reduce sulfur content in fuels and the importation of fuel with low sulfur content into the countries.
There is no doubt that there will be a challenge that will affect the full implementation of low sulfur fuels, particularly with respect to the products from our refineries. It is therefore expedient to give some reasonable time for them to upgrade and be able to produce the required quality of their fuels. However, immediate action could, however, be taken on imported fuels, particularly in the sub-region.
The objective of the Abuja workshop is to develop a roadmap towards achieving a standard of low sulfur fuel, that is a maximum of 50 parts per million in the region by 2020, and to collaborate within ECOWAS countries for the harmonization of clean fuel and air emission standards. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
Following passage of the Nigerian Peace Corps Bill by the Senate and House of Representatives, the National Youth Council of Nigeria has shown its appreciation for the move with a rally at the National Assembly complex. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that the council now anticipates its speedy assent by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The bill, if assented to, would give the Nigerian Peace Corps a new status whereby it is legally recognized as a government organization. Members of the council came out in their droves singing solidarity songs and expressing joy in what has been a long journey in the existence of the Nigerian Peace Corps.
President Muhammadu Buhari, he said it and he proved that this government is for the youth. And we are calling on him with immediate effect, please, he should make sure this bill become reality in weeks to come, so that this will be in history.
I want to commend Ambassador Akko Dixon, because tough time will never last, but tough people will do. And success without a successor is a failure in disguise. The best man is never tested in a peaceful time but during crisis.
The Nigerian Peace Corps was established almost 20 years ago and aims to promote social and economic development through working with governments, schools and NGOs. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Taraba State government embraces application of genetically modified organisms in agriculture. We'll now join Charles in Makurdi for this and other reports.
To Makurdi. The Benue State government is to earmark 40,000 hectares of land to investors for dry season farming. The land to be located between Gwe West and Agatu local government areas is to be allocated in 3 phases. Governor Samuel Otom gave this indication when a group of agricultural developers from Netherlands visited him at the government house. Makurdi, Achigli Magaji reports.
The group, Humanitarian Environmental Project Company, is to carry out its feasibility studies within 30 days and commence development in 180 days.
We start with smaller, and if we have opportunity to expand, then we can also do that, Your Excellency. So we ask that the land have proximity to the river, if possible, stay about 20 kilometers away. In that way, we have access to water for irrigating the farm.
Governor Samuel Otom noted that since the project is in line with the state government's development program, it will be supported. He directed that the Bureau for Lands and Survey, Ministry of Works, Energy and Transport, and the traditional rulers in the area should consult over the land issue to make the project succeed.
That will encourage our farmers to do more. We have the capacity, we have the land, and we have the manpower.
The project is expected to engage hundreds of people in direct employment as well as outgrower scheme. In Makurdi, Achigli Magaji, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, Taraba State government is stepping up its partnership with the Northeast Office of the National Bioresources Development Agency to promote high-yielding agricultural inputs and practices in the state. This was made known when the wife of the Taraba State Governor, Anna Darius Ishaku, visited the center to seek partnership for women development. Christy Ayagwa Adaji reports.
The long-standing desire of the federal government to boost agricultural products that will meet the standards of the international market, produce greater yield with less cost, and can be adapted to the different climatic conditions appears to be resonating very well across Taraba State. On the heels of the recent visit to the Northeast Zonal Office of the National Bioresources Development Agency in Jalingo by Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku, during which he embraced a partnership with the center, the wife of the governor, Anna Darius Ishaku, has visited the center to canvass for partnership in the training of women in agricultural entrepreneurship. The coordinating director of the center, Dr. Jummai Tutua, who conducted the governor's wife round the center, said they have developed capacity to popularize best practices in agriculture. On her part, Mrs. Anna Darius Ishaku said her interest is for women and youths to be gainfully engaged in productive agricultural ventures, which she said holds the key to economic empowerment. The National Bioresources Development Agency is a parastatal of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. In Jalingo, Christy Ayagwa Adaji, NTA News.
And from the security sector comes a report that as part of efforts to fight crime and ensure safety of lives and property, the Benue State Police Command has set up a public complaint rapid response unit at the command. State Commissioner of Police Bashir Makama said the idea is to sustain partnership with members of the public to volunteer information that will reduce the rate of crime. Godwin Inalegu completes the report.
The Nigeria Police has evolved various strategies such as stop and search, patrol and community policing to reduce crime and ensure peaceful living. It is to further enhance these strategies that the command has established the Public Complaint Rapid Response Unit for members of the public to volunteer information to the police to enhance its performance. To achieve this objective, Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command, Bashir Makama, led his officers to distribute flyers to sensitize members of the public to know that the quick response is readily available to them at short period of time. He noted that policing is a collective responsibility and urged members of the public to volunteer information that will assist in safeguarding lives and property.
Any information that you feel that is important to the police to assist you to create safety and ensure protection of lives and property.
Some members of the public described the effort as commendable. With the Yuletide around the corner, the people assured the police of their readiness to partner them to deliver on their mandate. In Makudi, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
That report on security does it from Makudi. Phil is back to you.
Thanks, and we'll take a break now. The news continues when we return.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
The House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Value is conducting a two-day public hearing on the following bills. A bill for an act to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Cap N11, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004. A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, Cap N109, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, and to reenact the Nigerian Film Commission Act, 2016. A bill for an act to provide for the regulation and conduct of the practice of broadcasting profession in Nigeria and for other matters connected therewith, 2015. 2015, a bill for an act to establish the National Agency for Ethics and Values to provide for the functions and powers of the agency. Date 6 to 7 December 2016. Venue House Conference Room 028, New Building, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Stakeholders and the general public are hereby invited. All memoranda should be submitted in 30 bounded copies with a flash to the committee clerk, room 327, White House, House of Representatives, on or before Thursday, 1st December 2016. Honorable Odebumi Olusegun, Chairman, Announcer.
The Government Girls College Yola Old Girls Association invites you to its reunion dinner. Venue, Stonehenge Hotel beside Nanette Suite Hotel, Central Business District, Abuja. Date, Saturday, December 3rd, 2016. Time, 6:30 p.m. There will be a visit to the IDP's camp, Karimajiji, Abuja on Saturday, 10th December 2016. Announcer, Khadija Muhammad Mamu.
You know say they don't find crude oil for my pile backyard.
Crude oil.
You know say you like to dey talk.
I am not a perforated clay pot that leaks water. What I want to tell you, you will not tell anybody.
I am a secret agent. In fact, if you tell me secret now, I don't remember.
Unbelievable! This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Oguz Baba.
Udawatina, cost me. Insult me.
There are more means of seeking redress rather than engaging in vilifying, defaming, and vituperative measures as a way of seeking restitution.
Professor John Bull, this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
You have udonized my English.
Udonize! I'm udonizing you right now.
Over and out.
Welcome to the new speed of life.
This is truly home away from home. Jade's Hotel. Welcome to life.
A king, his throne, his subjects. A chronicle of centuries of conquest, strength, struggle, and victory. A thriving culture. The Nigerian Television Authority presents Benin, Might, Mystery, and Myth. Benin Kingdom, showing on the network service of the NTA.
For over 25 years, I have been privileged to anchor various programs on television. But the news program that I find most exciting and challenging is The Weekend File. This is largely because of its philosophy of engaging all classes of people, the artisans, politicians, technocrats, captains of industry, and professional analysts on issues that touch all aspects of life and living. In the conversations that follow, you find complexities, different views, ideologies, thought patterns, and individual beliefs. It's quite engaging. We do this Saturdays on NTA Network Service at 9 p.m. It's Weekend File, but you call it Weekend Companion, and it's all about nation building. Join me, Kirian Umayo, and production crew every Saturday for this weekend treat, and I can tell you that it is unmissable. Make it a day.
It's good to know you're still tuned to Nationwide on NTA. The federal government says it is yet to grant permission for the supply and distribution of any kind of genetically modified farm produce in the country and ordered those who have them on their shelves to immediately remove them. This directive came at the sensitization program on GMO and national food security held in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliyu has the report.
Law guiding the production of genetically modified crops in Nigeria states that permission and license must be granted before any person engage in the production and marketing of modified crops. The permission would be granted through the National Biosafety Development Agency constituted to enforce the law.
In the event of contravenance and such a person is prosecuted or found guilty, the person risks going to 2 years, going to 5 years imprisonment or a fine of 2.5 or both.
This sensitization program is aimed at educating civil servants on the implication of GMO on national food security.
And some of these people in the ministries, agencies and departments are the end users of this technology. And so they have the right to know what they are going to eat.
Increase in yield is an attendant benefit always associated with genetically modified organisms. And that is why the issue of food security can be guaranteed.
Government officials at the event insisted that adequate policy has been put in place to ensure safety in the consumption of the modified crops to human and the environment. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed fake, expired and unwholesome drugs and products worth over 250 million naira in some states in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Talatu Lamon reports.
The fake drugs and substandard products were said to be voluntarily surrendered to NAFDAC by stakeholders, while others were mopped up by officers of the agency in the 6 states of the Northeast. Director General NAFDAC, Mrs. Yetunde Oni, represented by the Northeast Zonal Coordinator Ibrahim Sabo Adamu, noted that the dangers posed by fake drugs and unwholesome products on public health is why the agency is poised to ensure only genuine medicines and foods are manufactured and consumed. She warned counterfeiters and sellers of fake and expired drugs to desist from the acts or face the wrath of the law, while Gombe State NAFDAC Coordinator Garba Abdu advised consumers to always be mindful before buying or consuming any product.
They should desist henceforth from producing this type of products. If they fail to, the NAFDAC will not hesitate to sanction them.
We always advise the consumer and the general public that whatever they are buying, they should look for NAFDAC registration number on each and every product. If the registration number is there, it means the product is good. If there is no NAFDAC registration number, it means the product is no good. So they should not take it.
Secretary to Gombe State Government, represented by Obed Yaji, and other stakeholders commended NAFDAC, calling on all and sundry to support the agency in the fight against fake and other substandard products. In Gombe, I am Talatu Lamon, NTA News.
The Albino Foundation has launched the I Support Albinism cause campaign as part of its advocacy to put an end to discrimination against persons living with albinism around the world. Its founder, J.K. Pele, says this is part of the United Nations campaign, Action Against Albinism in Africa. He said at a press briefing in Abuja that it is a fallout of 2 albinism conferences in South Africa and Kenya. Serafina Okon reports that Mr. Pele said the campaign has received endorsement from former President Olusegun Obasanjo and other concerned individuals and organizations.
Request the mainstream media and the below stream media to spread the news of the fact that albinism cause needs to be supported morally, financially, and otherwise.
As a way of raising funds to support the campaign, an opera will be staged by the Abuja Metropolitan Music Society. The artistic director of the concert spoke on the program.
People that are trying to make a difference.
How to urgently address the prevalence of substance abuse among youth, which is a major constraint to gainful employment dominated discussions at a seminar organized by the National Directorate of Employment as part of measures to address unemployment. The seminar, held in Abuja, and seeks to promote attitudinal reorientation in vocational training as ways out of drug abuse. Emmanuel Aimiru has the report.
This is harmful.
Discussants observed that attention is being focused on issues of unemployment, poverty, insurgency, militancy, and kidnapping, but hardly consider one of the leading factors to social vices, which is substance abuse. In Nigeria, where more than 60% of her population is mainly youth, among which unemployment is very high, NDE, in tackling lack of jobs, brought relevant institutions together to address drug abuse, which has crept into the workplace, professions, schools, and the general society.
NDE has noted with utmost concern that problems emanating from substance abuse is fast becoming inimical to skills acquisition, training, and employability of Nigerians, especially the youth.
Representatives of the Minister of Labor and Employment and Governor of Kaduna State want the distribution of drugs to be checked so as to stop the production.
In the workplace, substance abuse has the potential to negatively affect the health, safety, productivity of employees.
No other employer of labor, either in the private or public sector, will knowingly employ someone battling with drug addiction.
The theme of the seminar is substance abuse, an impediment to gainful employment.
Let's join Enugu studios now for more on Nationwide, and Chinyere is on standby. Hello.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome to Enugu. Ebonyi State Governor Chief David Umahi has described the present challenges facing the nation's judiciary as a passing phase in the country's socio-political history, which will not only strengthen the judiciary, but stabilize the country's democracy. Governor Umahi said this in his address at the 2016-2017 legal year of Ebonyi State Judiciary. Charles Ibuamalu reports.
Umahi, who was represented by his deputy, was full of praises for the state judiciary for a sustained quick dispensation of justice in the past 1 year. He maintained that no democracy can survive without an independent judiciary, rule of law, and active democratic institutions. The Chief Judge of Ebonyi State went extensively on the need for governments at various levels to implement fully the autonomy of the judiciary as provided in the 1999 Constitution.
The judiciary cannot fundamentally play its role without being independent. And independent judiciary is a simple norm for the democratic government.
The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Chief Augustine Nwangwu, said the state government will soon employ more law officers to quicken the dispensation of justice in view of increasing wave of crimes in the state. Speeches from the bar emphasized the need for full fiscal autonomy for the judiciary, local government autonomy to check the overbearing attitude of states on local government councils. The state MBA also appealed to the state chief judge and the Judicial Service Commission to carry members of the bar along when making appointments into the bench. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Onyechi Ibazu, who spoke on behalf of his colleagues, said the judiciary must continue to be the last hope of the common man. In Abakaliki, Charles Ibuamalu, NTN News.
The recent windstorm disaster at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, has been attributed to some construction defects. The observation was made by engineers who were at the airport to assess the extent of damage. Ben Asogwa reports.
The areas affected by the windstorm were the domestic terminal building, the general aviation terminal, and the pilot lounge, still under construction.
It's the major reason why we are here today, to see how we can prefer advice and some solutions. If we leave here, we'll go back to our tables, to our drawing rooms, get a position paper that will help.
Reacting, the airport manager, Mbemena Ojako, said though the damage is enormous, no casualty was recorded.
We do routine checks on a daily basis. So if we have any need to repair any portion of the runway, if there is any failure, we do carry that one out. We write first to everybody.
Authorities of the airport are still assessing the damage to determine the cost. Others who visited the scene were members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Preventive Investigation and Failure, and the Engineering Regulation and Monitoring Committees. In Enugu, Ben Asogwa, NTA News.
Motorists and road users in Enugu State have commended the state governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi for the rehabilitation of Enugu Oji River Ugwoba to Onitsha Old Road, which is almost completed. Ijoma Ugweke has more.
Enugu Oji River Ugwoba Old Road, which is a gateway from the northern part of the country to the southeast, has been a nightmare to the people who travel along the area due to the failed portions of the federal road. Following the intervention by Enugu State government, the road is now receiving serious attention.
Last time the governor visited, the mandate given to us is to complete before December.
Road users and motorists that ply the road say they are now relieved as they operate along the road without hitches.
This road before was very damaged. It is not good. But now, the governor have made it to be good, more beautiful.
We have been suffering for this bad road, but as of now, at least movement is free.
The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Research and Communication, Mr. Lawrence Ane, during the inspection said the state government is not relenting in meeting the deadline for the completion of the project, hence the continuous supervision and monitoring to ensure smooth movement during the Yuletide.
Roads have been well paved, so we can only believe that the deadline will be kept.
Also inspected was the Inyaba Bridge under construction at Nkanu East local government area. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
As that report concludes our package, from here is back to you, Phil. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Chinyere. The establishment of the Diaspora Commission, Diaspora Data Bank and Diaspora Voting Rights, as well as remittances, are issues as stakeholders converge on Abuja to validate the national policy on diaspora matters. Gabriel Odo reports that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Matters is facilitating the validation exercise.
The national policy on diaspora matters has been on for 16 years, but lacks the institutional framework and capacity for implementation. It becomes therefore expedient that the multi-stakeholders validation will ensure its workability. But then, let's hear from Abike Dabri Erewa.
It's about Nigerians abroad and Nigerians at home working together to achieve true greatness. If other countries have done it, what is stopping us? So I hope we achieve that purpose.
The principal objective of the policy is to effectively leverage on the resources and technological knowledge of Nigerians in the diaspora.
Once we're able to tackle the challenges of infrastructure, of power, for example, of the economy in a manner that will be able to absorb some of the investment and potentials and capacities of the diaspora, that will make the country more attractive to them.
With over $21 billion in remittances to the Nigerian economy from the diaspora in 2015 and an expected rise in 2016, some diasporans say concerns must be addressed.
One of the things I recommend is visa on arrival. That's what we should be doing in this country. The issue of remitting money, both back and away from the country, it's critical.
Strategic approach to mobilization and engagement of Nigerians in the diaspora is being considered in the policy document. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
And parents have been challenged to be more committed to the moral upbringing of their children and not to leave it in the hands of teachers alone in order to breed a healthier society. The suggestion was made during the 20th anniversary of Babsilia School's New Caro in Nasarawa State. Agatha Joseph Obioha has details.
Founded in 1996, Basese Schools New Cairo was established with the aim of providing sound and quality education in a conducive learning environment. Proprietress of the school, Cecilia Obishakin, says the mission is to help children realize their full academic and social potentials in a secured and stimulating environment.
The fact that you are able to impact life and this life are getting better, even better than you, that is our joy, and I really thank God for it.
We need the government of Nasarawa State. We need their presence, especially to do the roads well.
Various bodies commended the school for academic excellence.
The seed, having germinated, grew and became a giant among schools in our nation.
Parents and students say the school has come a long way in imparting knowledge.
In fact, if your child passes through Babsissin, you will never regret. Your child can compete with any other student from any other school from anywhere in this country.
My school is the best, and God has really helped us through these 20 years. I will give all the glory to God.
Agatha Joseph Obioha, NTA News.
The ambassador of South Sudan to Nigeria says with the institution of a new vice president, the government and rebel groups are now working together to implement the peace agreement signed last year. To this end, his country is seeking to improve bilateral relations with Nigeria in oil and gas, education, as well as health. The ambassador said this when he met with the Nigerian media in Abuja. Chimdima Ndubisi has the report.
Nigeria's bilateral ties with South Sudan, a country of about 15 million people, has spanned over 4 years. Nigeria, besides playing a prominent role in restoring peace in South Sudan, is also running training programs for the country.
Nigeria is very clear. The message that I got from the president, he assured me that they will continue to support the peace process in South Sudan. This is what, of course, we expect from the big brother like Nigeria, that is also part of the IGAD Plus.
With both countries, which are oil-producing nations, making efforts to diversify their economies, South Sudan's ambassador says there are areas of sharing technical expertise.
I'll be looking forward to meet relevant institutions in the oil sector in Nigeria for us to see how best we can also benefit from their experience. And we really wanted to use the oil revenue to basically develop our agriculture sector so that we have got sufficient food security.
The South Sudanese ambassador stated that his country is committed to promoting global peace and stability. That is why it will soon hold a conference on reconciliation. He also asked for better information sharing between the two countries. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
And sports now with Ayodeji Makinde.
In a repeat of the 2014 edition in Namibia, Nigeria's Super Falcons will take on hosts Cameroon in Saturday's Africa Women's Cup of Nations final in Yaoundé. The indomitable Lionesses will be desperate to break the jinx of not winning the biennial tournament since its inception in 1991, while the Falcons are poised to continue their dominance on the continent as they bid to retain the trophy they won in 2014, beating Cameroon 2-0. Coach Florence Omagbemi, who backs her team to silence Cameroon, says the Falcons would not be distracted until the target is achieved. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalun has re-emphasized the need for the public sector to contribute to the growth of the sporting sector, stressing that government alone cannot do it. Dalun spoke in Abuja Thursday when he received members of Nigerian Olympic Fund, led by its coordinator, Jide Fashikun.
I believe that if we must succeed, the only way out is to create an enabling environment in sports development where investors will be attracted to put in their money and develop sports.
We're looking at raising 10% of Nigerians to support this process, and that 10% will give us the entire funds we require to drive the process of bringing almost about 1 million kids into sports.
14-time major champion Tiger Woods hit a 1-over par 73 on his return to competitive golf at day one of the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas, staying 9 shots off the pace set by fellow American John Bradley Holmes.
And that's nationwide. Thanks for your time.